Hi everyone, and welcome back. If you can't tell by the title, this is my 5 weeks pregnant update. I am either 5 weeks and 1 day if I go from the first day of my last period, or I'm 5 weeks and 2 days if I go off the day that I think we conceived, but I'm probably gonna go off the period one because you never know. So I'm like 5 weeks and 1 day really, and this week has been quite a hard one actually, and it's not really about symptoms so much as me and the way I feel and like emotions and things like that. I'm really frightened of losing this baby, I'll be honest. I'm really frightened. It's taken up a lot of my thoughts. Miscarriage these days seems like a much wider known you know, experience to go through, and that's mainly because we're able to detect our pregnancies far sooner than we ever, you know, used to be able to. So, you know, we're able to detect like chemical pregnancies when, you know, a lot of the time in the past women would, you know, have a chemical pregnancy or a very early miscarriage and they wouldn't know. They would just think their period was a little bit late, whereas these days it's, you know, I know quite a few people who have gone through this now, and I hate to think that they've gone through it. Like I can't imagine the pain, and I'm so frightened of that pain. And it's literally all I can think about. I'm still testing twice a day with those little internet cheapy strip tests that I showed you in my last vlog. And I do it once in the morning and I do it once in the afternoon when I get home from work around like 5:30, and it's the only thing that I can do to like reassure myself that everything's okay. Obviously around the 5 week point, like, you don't have much input from like doctors or midwives or anything like that, but I do remember when I found out with William I was around 6 weeks and I'd started to feel nauseous, and I remember, like, you know, in a week's time, but in his, like, you know, pregnancy, I will have seen like a doctor and a midwife, and it just made it feel more real for me. But now obviously, you know, things have changed. Pregnancy tests are, you know, reliable enough now for doctors and midwives not to have to see you earlier on, and obviously NHS budgets mean that they can't really see you any earlier because they're so time poor. And especially with a second pregnancy, you get even less like you know, support in that way, because especially if your pregnancy last time was fine, which mine was. So I am just feeling really anxious, and I just want to talk to a midwife, and my appointment, which I've now booked, is the 9th of September, so it's not too far away. It's the 22nd of August today. But I just really need some reassurance. Yesterday I had a tiny, and I mean tiny like the tip of my baby finger tiny, bit of brown discharge, and I panicked and I ended up in tears last night when I got home from work, crying my eyes out, and I was so worried. And you know, I've not had any more since, but it's just heightened that those nerves. But I have calmed down, and everybody's told me, including like forums that I'm on, or like, you know, things I've read online, that brown is fine but red is what you need to worry about. I haven't had any cramps, I haven't had any like, you know, pains or anything, and it was just that one. And to be honest, I think it might have coincided with my biggest symptom, which is constipation. Now when you're straining, which is the only way I'm going to put it, and I have to be honest, because how is it going to help you or be any, you know, more useful to you if I lie about it? I feel like if I strain too hard I might have aggravated like my cervix or something like that. So I'm hoping that that's all it is. Another thing that has worried me is that after that I decided to take a clear blue digital test today, because I took one last week on Thursday, not this Thursday, just one the Thursday before, and it said that I was up to 2 to 3 weeks. So I thought today, being a Saturday and like over a week on, it would say 3+, but it still says 2 to 3 weeks, which hasn't helped. But I know again that these things aren't hugely accurate, and I know I just need to calm down. So even though you'll be watching this like 2 months down the line, like I really like, I wish I could ask you to be like, please just cross your fingers and let's hope this baby hangs around, because I want this baby so badly. But I'm going to move on to things like symptoms and cravings and aversions and things like that, because that's the fun stuff. And then obviously I will end with my bloated mummy pot belly thing that isn't really a bump yet. So in terms of symptoms, I've written them down on my phone. A lot of them are similar to last week. So I've got sore boobs and I feel like they're getting worse, and I hate how big they've gotten. Like, every time I put a top on now, I'm just noticeable that from the front I just look bigger, and like my boobs are like there before anything else, saying hello to the world, and they look huge and they are so uncomfortable. I cannot tell you. Like, it's not all day every day, and like it's not like I can't actually move my arms without hurting. It's just that if I like touch them, like it's mainly around my nipple area, it's just really tender and it's not fun. It is not fun, especially when I wake up first thing in the morning and I like stand up and they like, you know, because when you lie down they go flat-ish, don't they? You know what it's like having boobs. But when you stand up, they like go to attention and go to their positions like ready for war. And like when I do that and they like go down, I'm like, oh Jesus, oh that hurts so much, and I hate it. So that is one thing, and that definitely gives me like reassurance, as do all of these symptoms, that I am pregnant. The next thing is tiredness. It's a little bit better than last week, but I think it's the calm before the storm, because I started to feel unwell and sick around 6 weeks with William, and I can already feel that starting. But I think that I'm having a little bit of energy before I go into the war with the toilet bowl, which I'm dreading. But yeah, tiredness is still bad. I get home from work, I don't want to blog, I don't want to vlog, I don't want to talk too much. I want to cuddle Mark and lie under a blanket in the comfiest pyjamas I can find, and it's literally all I can do at the moment. And it is hard, like, you know, I feel like I'm flagging behind as a blogger and all of this stuff I do outside of work, but I have to go behind because this baby and my health is far more important than like doing a blog post every day. It really is, and so I'm not worried about that at the moment. Next symptom, which I said in my last video started when I turned 4 weeks, is weeing. Except I'm weeing so much more now, and I find it ridiculous because I'm only 5 weeks pregnant and I don't know why I'm weeing like I'm about in my 3rd trimester. I get up to wee at night. Like I wee before I go to bed and I get in bed, and then I wee when I finally get up in the morning. But in between that time, without fail, I will wee 3 more times. That's 3 wees, and the baby is the size of a sesame seed. Like, how is this? It's awful. And that's a really clear symptom for me, because like I can go all night normally, but not anymore. And I've had vivid dreams again in terms of sleep, and I do have insomnia some nights, although it's getting to the point where I'm literally that tired that like all I can do is go to bed. And then a new thing is baby brain. I don't know what's happening to my mind. I keep saying the wrong words, I keep writing the wrong words at work, and I'm just genuinely making a fool out of myself. Like I can't remember where things are, I'm putting things down in weird places, I'm behaving really weirdly, and it's crazy. Like and I don't like it, because I feel like all people must think, those that don't know I'm pregnant, is that like I've got fat, I've got like ugly, and I don't work anymore, because like I'm just literally a shadow of my former self. Now in terms of sickness, which is what everybody wants to know about, I am still having like queasy moments, and I say queasy because it's not nausea, because I'm not like, you know, preventing myself from being sick or trying not to be sick. It's just I feel a bit ugh, and it's mainly when I'm in the car. And apparently if you get like motion sickness anyway, which I do, it tends to heighten those things first before you actually go into morning sickness, and that is definitely happening. Speed bumps in particular are worse for me. A hot car, which I get into after a day's work when the car's been sat in the Manchester sun, like that first like 10 minutes while the car like cools down again with the air coming through the windows is like hell for me. I really don't like it. I am feeling nauseous at certain smells. Oh, and that's another thing, my sense of smell is like, I feel like a sniffer dog. Can smell anything and everything. Like, I can tell you when milk's gone out of date before it even goes out of date. It's like crazy. So yeah, I feel like it's coming. Today I was out with William and we went for lunch at this lovely cafe near our house, and I absolutely love it there, but I just felt really sick and hot and unwell when we were in there, and I came out afterwards and we needed to go to the shops. And I was walking around the shops as quick as I can, like, you know, supermarket sweep, like trolley dash, because I just felt awful. And then when I got home and like managed to get like cooled down a little bit and slow down, I felt much better. But I was hot and sweaty, you know, like before you're sick and you kind of get like a weird sweat, and it was just not nice. But I'm fully expecting the nausea to kick in like next weekend or something like that. In terms of like things that I'm craving, I still love carbs and cheese and lime and soda. Like, that is definitely working for me. I love like plain stuff or tangy stuff, it would seem, but anything that isn't that, I'm not on board with. Mushy peas was a new one for me this week. Like, I literally had to have them, which was so funny. I was asleep on, I think it was like Sunday night or Monday night, and I had insomnia, and all I was thinking about was going to the fish and chip shop, ordering 4 tubs of mushy peas with a tub of gravy and some chips with loads of salt and vinegar, and just devouring them, and all I could think about was that. So I ended up telling my mum, and my mum and Bill went to go and buy some mushy peas for me, and they were really good, so I have stocked up on more. And then another thing that I was really after yesterday, but obviously when I had the scare with the brown discharge, I didn't end up eating anything because I completely lost my appetite. But mint chocolate chip ice cream, it's like, it's a bit sweet and it's creamy, and I like creamy things as well, but the mintiness of it, like, just, it sounds really good to me because mints soothe my sickness and my queasiness, so I'm definitely having some of that tonight. And then in terms of aversions, it's like anything overly sweet, so really sweet drinks, I don't want to drink them. Like anything like fizzy pop, like Coke or anything like that, the thought makes me go, like, I'm literally having that feeling where I'm like, oh, like, no, see, it's happening. And then other things, the things with like weird textures, like the sandwich I talked about in my last video, like anything like that's like gooey or mushy, I'm just, I'm making myself feel ill, so I'm going to stop talking about that. But that's literally the 2 versions. So on to Baby. Baby is about 2 millimeters long, which is about the size of a sesame seed, and it's like a little kind of like tadpole shape today. It's got a bit of a tail, which is quite cute, and the facial features like eyes and ears are beginning to form, and it's also got a little heartbeat now, so hopefully like it's gonna stay on beating. And I'll show you a little picture because I love these little pictures. And this is what Baby apparently looks like at the moment, which is kind of cool, isn't it? It looks a little bit more like a baby, which was better than the bowl that we had last week. I think that is it really. I mean, obviously this was pre-recorded, but if you have any questions about how I felt at 5 weeks, or you know, want to ask me anything, then please do leave it in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you, provided I'm not puking. But I might as well end on a belly shot. And it's not very impressive, but I'll show you anyway. This is my 5-week belly, and it might look a little bit different from last time because I was wearing big baggy bottoms, but I don't know if you can see. There's William in the background. Hello. But again, I've still got this poochy bit that when I suck in, like you can see, I can't really bring it in, so I feel like it is growing, but I'm sure a lot of it is blown. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and let's hope I make it to week 6 and more weeks to come, and I can stop worrying next time because I really want to come back. And there's a cat. Sorry. I really want to come back next time and feel a lot more positive because I'm sick of feeling so scared. So fingers crossed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.